So I have really good friends who are as biblically thoughtful and theologically and philosophically robust as anybody I know who come down on the atomic bomb in different areas. It was justified. It was not justified. I think with what we know now, it's hard to say it was justified. That doesn't mean that the people who waged the war in Japan weren't unbelievably courageous, facing conditions that now, thankfully, we've been able to know more about because of history and books and these stories being told. It doesn't mean that suddenly the ones who made that decision didn't do it with sweat and tears and and we would have. And I'll say this: if it were in my lap, I probably would have made the same decision. So this is the difference between being able to theorize from the safety of the historical sidelines and being having to flip the switch. I think I would have made that call in that context. But we have the perspective where we can look at it and go, there probably was a couple other things that we could do. But there's just all those factors, to your point. Like, it was hard to really know how close we were. We weren't talking about instant communication. We didn't know even how horrifically Japan was treating prisoners of war. Things like, I mean, there's just so many aspects here that we just don't know. The weariness. This war had gone on. It was, we thought World War I was the war to end all wars. That's the worst nickname for a war ever, because it just wasn't true. And this was the capacity of modern warfare, the capacity for bloodshed. This is the second war, really. I mean, people call the Civil War the first modern war, but the technological enablement to do war and the nationalisms that created the hostilities or led to the hostilities. The world had never seen this. You never had an ability to mobilize tens of thousands of troops, to mobilize the best weaponry you have to the front of the line there. The world had never seen this, and this was the second go round. We hadn't had time really to morally reflect on the first time, and now all of a sudden we have this capacity for destruction that the world had never seen.
It's just a reality of the human nature that when you're in the middle of something that's this difficult and hard and terrible, it never feels like it's going to end. It does. You're not like, well, if we can just push through one more month, I think that we'll starve them out or whatever. That's just
and every
not
month
how it
you're talking
feels.
about tens of thousands of people dying.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the other thing. So that's just not a math thing you can do too. Anyway,
well,
have we sufficiently landed in
so.
a neutral position, and we're going to get hate mail from both sides?